Hey there, I'm Julie, and this is the Married to Addiction podcast. If you're here, then you're probably what I call my secret sister. We're in a situation we never asked to be in and fighting a battle we never wanted to fight. We're faith-filled women who are married to an alcoholic, and it affects every inch of our lives. If that sounds like you, then this is a safe place for you to land. Married to Addiction is a faith-based podcast where I help you find the tools and strength you need to navigate your husband's addiction without losing yourself in the process. So please subscribe and tune in as often as you can, because your husband's recovery is important, but so is yours. The Married to Addiction podcast is brought to you by the Secret Sister Circle. The Secret Sister Circle private group coaching program was designed to take the Christian wife of an alcoholic from hurting to healing. If your life feels unmanageable because of your husband's drinking, if you feel consumed by his addiction and you're constantly trying to figure out how to stop it, if you have let everything else in your life fall by the wayside, including yourself, then the SSC was created for you. I actually built the SSC around what I needed back when my husband was deep in addiction. I clearly remember sitting on the floor of my closet one day, just bawling and frantically searching Google for help. I couldn't really find what I needed, which was help, detailed help, step-by-step help, designed for a Christian wife, because it was also super important to me to have that element built in because of my faith. And I wanted to be guided by that, from that angle. So if that sounds like you, we would love to have you join us in the Secret Sister Circle. You can get the help you need without feeling exposed. It's a private online program with a private online community of other wives just like you. And you are taken step by step through every possible scenario that you could encounter as the wife of an alcoholic. We would love to have you join us. You can get started beginning today and start moving towards healing. Just go to www.marriedtoaddiction.com and look for the tab that says Secret Sister Circle. We'd love to have you join us. Hello, and welcome in to episode 110 of the Married to Addiction podcast. Today's episode is called Boundaries with Kids About Dad's Drinking. So if you're the wife of an alcoholic that has children, one of the hardest things you're going to probably face is deciding what to say to them about their dad's drinking. How much will you tell them? When you set boundaries, how do you do it in a way that doesn't damage their relationship with their dad? These are tough questions that a lot of us face. I face this myself. And so today I want to walk you through some of this. Setting boundaries with children about their dad's drinking is definitely challenging, but it's also crucial to help them understand what's going on, to help them set emotional limits, and to also give them tools to process some of the difficult emotions that they're probably feeling. So first, let's talk about why boundaries matter for kids specifically. As parents, we want to protect our kids from harm, right? But when we're living in a home with addiction, we have to protect them in ways that can oftentimes feel uncomfortable. But setting boundaries helps create emotional safety for your children. So it's important. And without boundaries, they will probably feel confused, unsafe, or even responsible for the chaos around them. Addiction often leads to instability, and children need a sense of security that's consistent, even if everything else feels uncertain. So boundaries can teach kids how to respect their own needs and emotions, even when there's addiction in the home. It shows them that it's okay to express their feelings and take care of themselves, even in difficult circumstances. So that's going to serve them well for the rest of their lives, right? And by setting an example of having healthy boundaries yourself, you're teaching your kids healthy emotional habits that will also serve them for a lifetime. But how do you talk about these things in a way that's gentle and understandable for kids? Talking about addiction is obviously never easy. But it's important that your children hear the truth, but in an age-appropriate way. So how you talk about their dad's drinking is going to depend on their age, their maturity level, their ability to understand what's going on, etc. But in all cases, with all kids, you want to make sure that you are talking about this with honesty, love, and reassurance. Those things are going to be essential. So let's start with younger kids. Younger kids are going to need reassurance that they're safe and loved, even if things feel really unpredictable. When talking to younger kids, it's really important to keep things really simple and clear. And it's also super important to reassure them that they are not responsible for their dad's behavior or their dad's drinking. Older kids may begin to understand more about addiction, but they might still struggle with the emotional complexity. So it's really important to have resources for them that will help them learn more about addiction in a way that's less scary and more based on factual information about exactly what addiction is and what it does to the person that's addicted, in this case, their father. When you move into the teenage years, teens are often aware of what's going on, but they may not really have a good understanding about addiction, and they may not know how to process their feelings. So this is a really good time to have an honest conversation about what addiction is, how it affects behavior, which is important, and why it's okay for them to set boundaries. For both older kids and teens, I also think it's extremely important for them to start learning more about addiction. That can really make a huge difference in how they view their dad, which can benefit their relationship long term. That is something that I feel like is very often overlooked in these situations, and it's something that I think is monumentally important. In fact, we dive more into this a lot in the Secret Sister Circle, which is my membership for Wives of Alcoholics, where I give lots of resources. There's a lesson in there called Kids and Addiction, I think, or something along those lines. And I give lots of resources to help guide kids of all ages through this in the best possible way. But for all kids, it's really important for them to know also that they are not responsible for their father's drinking. You want to reassure them that it's okay to leave a situation or ask for help if they feel uncomfortable. That helps them understand that they're not in charge of managing their dad's behavior too. So after talking to them about their dad's drinking, it's also important to give them some guidelines around how to handle what they might be feeling around all of this. So I want to talk today about 3 pointers to kind of get you started here. The first, teach them that it's okay to protect themselves emotionally. So sometimes kids feel obligated to just go along with things or act like everything is fine, even if they feel uncomfortable. So you can teach your children that it's okay to say respectfully, to say no to interactions that feel emotionally overwhelming for them. So you could tell them it's okay for them to say, I need a break right now, if they just don't feel up to talking to their dad when he's inebriated. The second thing is make sure that you are encouraging positive interactions with their dad when he's sober. So when your spouse is sober, encourage your children to spend quality time with him then. Whether it's playing a game, watching a movie together, or even just talking to him for a little while. When he's sober, it's a really great time for your kids to catch him in those moments where he's truly himself and help them maintain a healthy relationship with their dad. And lastly, you want to make sure that you are leading by example. So, of course, you can't really teach having good emotional boundaries without setting and having your own. So if you're practicing your own boundaries and caring for yourself and showing up in healthy ways in spite of what's going on in your home, then your kids will see that and they will learn from your example, which is also really important. When we have a spouse that is addicted and we're sharing the same home, sometimes it feels super hard to be a loving, protective parent. But I hope that some of the guidelines I've given you today have helped you feel like you can more easily guide your kids through this and love your kids through this. And again, if you need more support and resources around this subject specifically, I do expand a lot more on this in my Secret Sister Circle coaching program, including resources for every age level so they can have the tools that they need to navigate this as well, which is so important. So if you'd like to learn more about that, please head to the Married to Addiction website, it's just marriedtoaddiction.com, and look for Secret Sister Circle Coaching under the Programs and Offerings tab. I know this is an incredibly hard thing, but I want you to know that your efforts are worth it. So keep setting boundaries, keep loving with wisdom, and most of all, keep trusting that God is going to guide you in this process. You are never alone. As always, thanks so much for listening. I will see you next time. Quick question for you before I let you go today. Have you been to the Married to Addiction website?
If you haven't, I would love if you would go pay it a visit. It's just marriedtoaddiction.com. And over there, you can see just a lot of different information about my podcast. There is a blog on there. There's some free resources for you. And there's also a few ways that you can actually get some help if you need a little more help and direction and support as you travel this difficult path with your addicted husband. So if you haven't yet, please go visit marriedtoaddiction.com. Thanks so much.